Okay, in chapter or lesson 6, we're going to be working on using color and patterns to enhance signage. And in this lesson, you're going to learn about color modes and their controls, learn how to create and edit and paint with colors using a variety of methods. You'll learn how to save and name colors and color groups. And you'll work with copy, paint, and appearance attributes, work with creating and painting patterns, and working with live paint. So this is the end file here of the Shoreline Park Visitor Center, and this is what we will be working on creating. One thing you want to do is you want to go into your workspace area and make sure that you reset Essentials workspace before we get started. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and open up the L6 start file that looks like this. So one thing about color, generally the two color modes that are oftentimes used in the graphics world are CMYK and RGB. CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black are the colors used in color process printing. And these four colors, when combined, create a multitude of colors. RGB, on the other hand, red, green, and blue light are added together to create an array of colors. And this mode is used especially if you're working with internet or on-screen presentations. So when you go to create a new document, you can change the color modes in here. And right now you can see that the color mode is CMYK. And you can change it here. And you can also change it after the fact as well. By going to File, Document Mode, Color Mode, and change it here as well. Okay, so understanding the different colors in your tool panel here, you have, okay, one second, my computer, anyhow, you have your fill color and your stroke color that are found down here. Okay, and basically this is the fill box here. This is a stroke color box, and the default color is white with black, white fill color with black stroke. And you can also change them around. And you can also double click and get a color picker, and you can slide it down and see the different colors come out. But you have to make sure the color you select shows up over here in this box on the top in order for you to have that color to use as your fill color. Okay, so with the selection tool, I want you to, the V tool here, you're going to select this box here. And now you notice mine is red. Okay, and so mine is red. Now you can change the color just by selecting the object, and we'll show it with the brown here. And what I want to also show you is the swatch panel here. And the swatch panel shows you a number of different colors, and you can hover over them and you can name them, or they just tell you what the CMYK color numbers are as you go through them. And you can see you have other ones that have been named, etc. So in the fill box again, like I said, you also have the fill color located up here in the control panel. This is the drop down box for the stroke as well. And in your panels that come down here, basically, again, you have your fill and stroke, which is up here. And same in the swatches panel, you have your fill and stroke up here. Then you have, these are called swatches. And you also have color groups, and you notice this little folder here, and you actually got a full color group that goes in with that folder. Down below here on the swatch panel, you have your swatch library menu. You have an open color themes panel. You can add selected swatches and color groups to your library. You can show the swatch kinds menu, swatch options. This is where you would create a new color group. This is where you would add a new swatch. And then this is where you would delete any swatch that you no longer wanted up in this panel. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Color Guide. And you can, if it's not showing, you can go to your window drop-down menu and pick Color Guide. And in the Color Guide menu, you have the Harmony Rules menu. Color Guide went away. Let's bring that back up here. Okay, and basically the Color Guide panel can provide you inspiration when you're creating your artwork. And you can either start with the current color in the fill box right here, or using an existing library of colors. And here you can select colors that are complementary, monogamous, monochromatic, etc. And if you click the color panel icon, that's this, looks like a little color palette right up here. In this panel, you will see the various hues of colors that you can work with. And again, you can change modes as well in this palette. Okay, so we had the sign selected. What I'd like you to do now is if you hover over the different swatches here, again, as we said, some of them are named, some of them aren't. And I want you to select the one that says Sign BG. And you've got kind of a green, brown, olive color set. And then what we're going to do next is we are going to create and save a custom color. So with the selection tool, I want you to pick the white bar right above the green bar. And we want the color panel to be showing. And what I want you to do here is go in and select a lighter green. And you can see that it automatically filled that box just by selecting anywhere in here. But we'll just go ahead and select a kind of a lighter green, similar to that. And what you can also do as well is if you double click the color picker, it shows us where the green was. And now if I wanted to, and which is what we will do, we're going to change this to 42. The magenta we're going to keep at 0. The yellow we're going to change to 62, and the black we'll keep at 0 as well. And you notice that it did change it slightly from the light green. We were pretty close in what we picked into the color palette there. So now that I've created a color, I'm going to save it in the swatches panel so that I can add it later to other parts of this document. So down at the bottom here, you see that there's like a little page with a little dog ear on it, and it says New Swatch. And I'm going to click that. And what it brings up is the current color that I have in my fill color box. And what we're going to do is we're going to name this. Rather than having the cyan, magenta, yellow, and black settings, we're going to call this light green. And then once you've created that, you can just go ahead and click OK. And what's going to happen is you can see that that swatch has now appeared in your swatch panel. So with the selection tool, the V key on your keyboard, I'm going to have you select the left tree or the middle tree here on the object, and we're going to go over here to the light green and apply it. And it's that easy. But the thing is, it does have a stroke around it. You can see up here that the stroke says 1, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that at 0. And then you're going to deselect. You can either do that by going select, deselect, or just click outside on the artboard to make your deselection. So now I'm going to create a copy of this swatch. So I'm going to click the fill box at the top of the swatches panel. And then I'm going to select the light green, which has already been selected, and I'm going to create a new swatch. And in the new swatch, I'm going to call this orange. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the CMYK values to 15, 45, 70, and then leaving the black at 0. And I'm going to press OK. And again, you now see that we have the orange swatch added to our collection. Okay, so now I want you to click the top rectangle here above the light green one, and we're going to apply the orange that we just made. The next thing I'm going to have you do is go ahead and select the main sign that we first changed colors on. And we're going to go back into the swatch panel that says the sign BG color, and we're going to double click on that. And here what we're going to do is we're going to slide the black down to 0 and click OK. And now you see that I have changed the composition of that color permanently, and I can always go back in there and change it again by double clicking the swatch and then changing it in that properties menu. Next, we're going to create and edit a global swatch. And the nice thing about global colors is that, for example, if I have in my working document this color and all my other objects, and let's say I have several other objects in here that have that same color, if I make it a global color and then change it later, it's going to go back to all of those objects and change that color. So with the selection tool, we're going to select the white bar above the orange bar. And in the swatches panel, I am going to go new swatch. And we're going to call this forest green. Then what I want to make sure is that I have global selected right here. And then I'm going to change my CMYK values to 91, 49, and 49, leaving the black at 0. And then I'm going to click OK. So now that forest green color that I just created up here is listed in the swatch panel, and you notice it came right next to the white. But look at the bottom corner. You can see that it has a little white triangle at the bottom right. This indicates that it is a global color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this swatch next to the orange color that I had created. Okay. And now again, you can do this, and this is how you could get rid of a swatch as well. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to, with my selection tool, I'm going to select the second white tree, and I'm going to apply the forest green to that, and I'm going to go to the stroke weight and make that 0, and then I'm going to just deselect So in the swatches panel, what I want you to do is I want you to double click the forest green. And I want to change the K value to around 24. And then I'm going to go preview. And you'll notice how it just changed that forest green to both of these objects. And again, that's what the global color will do.